Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right,
we'll get to some texts in a second at 402-403-9478. But it's happening. I'm telling you right now, it's happening. And it hasn't even been a week yet.
What?
Hasn't even been a week and it's happening already. Get a call this morning. Made it through the weekend. Haven't seen my son since Thursday, I think.
Moved out officially.
Moved out officially. And so I haven't seen him since Thursday night, I think. Maybe it was even Wednesday night. He's been worked Friday, worked all day Saturday, worked all day Sunday. So he calls me this morning. Dad. I'm like, oh, what's up, buddy? He goes, and so he tells me that he goes, we had some buddies over last night. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Mm-hmm. He goes, yeah, well, we got bored. So we went in the garage to box. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Because him and his buddies did that once at our house. He has like a heavy bag and a bag, whatever that thing is, the fast punch bag, the Rocky bag. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, because that called that is. Okay,
so, and they would go down there and work out. But one time they decided to spar. No headgear. They did have gloves. They decided to spar. Yeah. So I know Bennett has not taken his heavy bag yet and the ding, ding, ding Rocky bag yet. So I don't know if he has gloves or not, but they decided to box in the garage. Only rule was no headshots, right?
The only rule?
Only rule, no headshots.
I can think of a lot of other...
Well, until the last punch was a headshot. Bennett took one right in the side of the face. His jaw is swollen.
Speed bag.
Speed bag, thank you.
That's driving me crazy.
And now that I totally know that's a speed bag. I don't know what I couldn't think of the name.
Couldn't focus till I thought of it. Okay, go ahead.
So he just took a pop to the jaw, and he's like, it hurts really bad. I said, he's fine. It's not dislocated. It's not whatever. I'm like, dude, here's the sitch. First of all, that's a dumb thing to do. Just box. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, they'll probably do it again, I'm sure. But I'm like, okay, so you're out on your own. And we all had this whole conversation that you're on our health insurance while you're in school. But anything like this kind of stuff, that's out of your pocket, yo. I said, so you better think about it. Because if you had to get your jaw wired shut.
Or even just an x-ray. Just a trip to the doctor for an x-ray.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Even just the little things, it's like.
So it made him think, but it's not going to slow him down. But it made him think a little bit.
I can't even imagine.
It's week 1 and they're already fighting in the Fight Club. In the garage.
I don't understand the desire to let's go box.
I don't either. Like a million things.
I can understand like competition on the speed bag or competition with the heavy bag. I can understand, doing some moves or doing some stuff like that, but not on each other.
Boys are stupid though. We used to do, I never boxed, like we never fought each other,
right.
But we'd violently wrestle. We used to do this game in school and it's the stupidest thing ever. Is that you would put your hand flat out, spread out your fingers, put it on your desk, and take a pen and it was as how many hits, and
you were doing it
faster
to yourself,
and faster.
or
no,
someone else is doing it to you.
Both. Both. Yeah. So I mean, guys, girls never did that stuff.
I don't remember a girl.
No.
Maybe there was. I can think of a couple that probably would have.
But there's always one or two.
But honestly.
It's the stupidest thing. It's just so dumb. And I know with age comes wisdom. I understand that. Looking back on it now, it's like that is the stupidest thing.
If you can live through your youth, right? If you make it out alive,
yeah.
And then you look back and go, "Oh my God,
yeah, right.
What was I thinking?"
Yeah, dumb, absolutely dumb. So that's there's that.
There's that.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's okay now.
Yeah, he's fine now. He's got school. He went to school this morning, so he wanted to know what he should do. I'm like, just Advil, and he doesn't have an ice bag because, of course, just moved in. Like, what? So I said, get you an ice bag.
Right? It's like once you need one, you'll never be without one.
Yep.
You'll always have, or just using a dishcloth. Some ice that would work too.
I don't even know if they have ice though. The fridge doesn't have an ice maker, and I guarantee there's not an ice tray. And if there is an ice tray, they didn't fill it up. Whole bunch of things leading to no ice in the house.
There's probably a bag of ice on the bottom shelf.
Maybe.
Like a bag of crushed ice sitting on the bottom shelf. They reach in and just grab a handful.
I guarantee they didn't buy it. If there's one there, they didn't buy it. Okay, this text is from Pam. It says, hey guys, I'm just trying to get caught up on some of the episodes this week and just finished the episode where you played all the sound effects triggered at once because Jill tripped on something and our little control board fell on the ground and everything just fired. She goes, that made me laugh out loud because while rushing my husband to a local ER and then to a Clovid COVID cluster. Those words back to back. COVID cluster. Known as Bergen, for a procedure for his kidney stone the size of my head. That's exactly how I felt all day on Wednesday. I managed his work phone to update his bosses, his personal phone to update his huge family, and my phone to update a few people I actually like while talking to doctors, nurses, and a clown car full of interns that kept popping in. My head felt like I hit too many sound effect trigger buttons all day.
All day long.
Thanks for the laugh.
Oh my
Thanks,
God.
Karen.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. That was funny.
I can only imagine. My God, she's got 3 different phones she's working on. It's like somebody's like a celebrity's
dealer.
personal assistant, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Updating everything and making sure you don't put the fan post on the business post and don't tell the right?
And the whole interns at the hospital.
Shadows.
With the shadows. And Beth's in clinics all day. And she said she saw a group of interns last week rounding or whatever. And she's like, they look like little kids.
Yes.
Just little children.
They shouldn't even. No, you don't. You should not have access to that information.
No.
You're way too young for this.
Right. Gosh.
That's awesome. I didn't. Saturday, this last weekend, was beautiful. Saturday was like this whole weekend, temperature wise, it kind of looks like things are starting to cool off. But then
Thank
again,
God.
we'll have another go round, I'm sure, of summer yet, because I don't think we get out of October without another blast. It seems like always October, even November. Mm-hmm. You're still barely wearing a sweatshirt,
right?
All the way through, right? You know, what I mean, still it's kind
Usually
of the thermos, or what do I say? The thermostat is like somebody resets it. Oh, we're gonna do another blast of summer. But yesterday was in the 90s, but it was so flippin' windy. You didn't even want to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful. And Saturday was gorgeous.
Yeah, Saturday was amazing.
Absolutely perfect day. But I was working on our newsletter, which we do every other week. We have a newsletter that goes out. If you haven't gotten it,
sign up, yo. There's a link in our description for this podcast right here. Just scroll down and
there you go.
Click it. It'll take you right to the link.
Make it real simple for you.
Yes.
But every other week it comes out, and then Pat and I take turns writing.
It's your turn this time?
Yes. So
what are you writing
it's
about?
Coming up
Preview?
on the 23rd. I didn't know what I was going to write. I was kind of looking at, well, you know how, I mean, just in general, I'm just like rabbit hole after rabbit hole. It seems like I see something and I start looking into it, and then that leads you somewhere else. And
you're like a Shih Tzu that gets out of the front door. You smell things, and then pretty soon you're 8 blocks away from your house. You have no idea where you are.
Lift your head up once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, just like take a breath once in a while. So anyway, I was looking at some other stuff, where it started, and I started this in the newsletter as well. But I was looking at, somehow I got onto a time capsule that's buried in Chicago, I think it is, or New York. But anyway, it's not supposed to be open for 5,000 years. I'd never heard of this before.
So it just recently got buried?
Over 100 years ago. It was
Why
buried.
5,000? Like, that's...
I don't know. And I thought at first that was a typo because it said the year 69 something
Like
or
what?
other. And I was like, what is this? But anyway, and so I haven't gone any further than that because I got distracted. And then I ended up looking at somehow a list of things that were developed in Nebraska. How did I get on that? There was an anniversary of something coming up or something like that. And then more focused, just things in Omaha in general. And, you know, you've got the typical, the Reuben sandwich, that kind of stuff. So when you get the newsletter, okay, spoiler alert, but we're going to talk about this real quick. One of the things that I found out, in the least likely state of the whole country to develop a ski lift, Omaha is where it was developed. The ski lift was built and designed in Omaha. What?
I've never heard of
How did that even happen?
Right? That's so...
So random. It's so weird.
Was it at, like, UNO? Or
It was a Union Pacific design engineer.
Oh.
I wanted to say engineer, but it's not train engineer.
An engineer.
He was
engineer.
actual design engineer.
Okay.
But he came up with the idea because he was watching them. He was in the tropics at one point and saw a cargo ship being loaded with fruits and vegetables and all that stuff from the tropics. And the way they loaded the bananas was on a hook conveyor. So they'd hook and then lift them up into the cargo.
Yeah.
And that was his inspiration
For a ski lift.
to get people to the top of the mountain.
I mean, it's brilliant. It really is. It really is brilliant. But that came from tropical bananas.
Tropical bananas. Yeah. It's a banana conveyor. And that's how we ended up with the ski lift. Yeah. Crazy stuff. But it was right here.
I would just love to see your search history. Your search history has just got to be absolutely crazy.
I have so much random crap in my head and I don't know how to organize it. And I get so confused sometimes because if you open the wrong door, everything falls out.
It's like
oh my
hitting
God.
all the sound effects again. Sometimes your search history is just like a shotgun.
That's exactly what it's like. Yeah, it's a mess. I can just say that. But yeah. So anyway, get on the old newsletter.
Yeah,
mailing list.
Because who knows? By the time you actually write this, it could be something completely different. If you get down some other
you never
rabbit
know
hole.
what it's going to be. But yeah, every other week it comes out from the desk of. It's either me or Pat.
Yeah.
We try and put something together.
And I always forget if they didn't have like these little things in our little project
Our
management stuff.
reminders.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always forget it.
I want to just write a bunch of them so I can get it out of the way.
Do
Say, here, just take these.
just go, just
Because I'll
sprinkle them.
forget, because then you're under the gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God, and then writer's block, and I'm not a writer, so
Yeah.
that's really bad.
And you can't plagiarize like I did in college because it would make no sense. It's got to be about us, so that would make no
Got
sense.
to be something that you would be honestly interested in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yourself, or you did.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything, so that's why I was reading about that crap. I gotta get out of the house.
You gotta get out of the house.
I gotta get out of the house more.
You guys, thanks for listening. Yeah, sign up for the newsletter. It's in the description of our podcast here. Click there and sign up.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.